Ken, we grabbed a hold of Dave Otten here. We've got him pinned between us. He can't get away.
He's the big cheese.
Yeah, National Sales Manager here at TYM. Now, we can't say Kook J. We never could say Kook J, but you can't say Kook J anymore.
No, not supposed to. We completed the purchase of Kook J last year.
Yeah.
And so as of July 1st of last year, Kook J was consolidated into TYM. So they are part of TYM. Right. The name Kook J went away.
Now, Kook J in the USA had a line of tractors, Branson tractors, that have been around for years, right?
Yes. Yes.
And they're no more.
Kook J was the parent company of Branson. And after we acquired Kook J, then as of January 1st of this year, Branson was consolidated with TYM. So the Branson name has gone away. It comes under the TYM name. The tractors are still being manufactured. Same tractors, they just say TYM on them.
Okay. Branson tractors still exist, but under the brand name TYM. What about the dealers?
Branson dealers are now TYM dealers. Okay. They still carry the same product. What this has done for both the TYM and the Branson dealers is given them a much broader range of products to sell. So basically doubled the product offering. Branson had brought some tractors in that filled holes in TYM's lineup. TYM has higher horsepower tractors that now the former Branson dealers now have access to 75, 65, 110, our new 130, a lot more tractors. So it's been a real benefit for our dealers to expand their product offering.
What about duplicates, though? I mean, Branson had some tractors that seem to really be almost duplicates of the TYM models.
There are some, and you know, I'll give you an example. There's a 4815 that comes from a legacy. We'll call them the legacy Branson brand.
Okay.
TYM brought the 474, which this is one right here. Similar horsepower, but there are differences in the tractors, subtle differences that, you know, customers may prefer one over the other. We don't intend on doing away with any of the models in the foreseeable future. So if customers like the 4815, they're going to be able to buy it for the foreseeable future. They're going to be able to get parts for these things. They're being manufactured in the same plant and will continue to be manufactured there. We'll still be providing parts for those tractors like we would have if this consolidation didn't happen. So as far as the former Branson product, it's not going anywhere. It's not going away. It's just being offered in more locations.
Are the numbers the same for those that have a Branson background? Are the numbers the same as they were on the Branson?
Numbers are exactly the same, have not changed. So what was a Branson 4820 is now TYM 4820.
Okay. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Yeah. So you mentioned the manufacturing. Where are these machines manufactured?
They're manufactured in South Korea. We have two manufacturing plants in South Korea. We also have another plant where we manufacture loaders, backhoes, mid mowers, that kind of thing. That company goes under the name Root. It used to be GMT, but they've changed their name to Root. Actually set up here at the show, but that is also a subsidiary of TYM.
Okay, and so the main manufacturing is done in South Korea.
Yes.
Where are you in the U.S.?
Well, we currently have a production facility in Wilson, North Carolina. We have one in Rome, Georgia. We have two in Texas, and we have one in Oregon. Now, in Rome, we are preparing to expand. We're building a new production facility, which will include offices, training center, new parts warehouse, of course, new production facility. We'll be breaking ground on that in the next couple months. And then we also have new corporate offices in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow, okay. Large presence then.
Yes.
The loaders and the backhoes are made here in the States?
They're made in Korea as well.
Oh, they are in Korea as well, okay. Okay, so we've been hearing rumors about a Yanmar merger or partnership, maybe a better word than merger.
Yanmar is a great partner with us and has been for a long time. We use Yanmar engines in a lot of our tractors.
Okay.
And as part of that partnership, we have started supplying Yanmar with two models of tractors, 37 horsepower and a 75 horsepower. So they'll be adding that to their line coming soon. And it's just a continuation of the partnership. Yanmar's been a great partner with us. They supply us with a lot of engines.
Right.
And so this is standard in the industry. We're just being partners and helping each other out.
Sure. Well, having a Yanmar engine is certainly not a negative.
It has helped us sell a lot of tractors. Yanmar's a great name, and it has been very beneficial for us.
These machines will be branded Yanmar,
Yes,
and they'll obviously have Yanmar engines in them,
correct.
but very similar to this 474 for one of them, right?
Yeah, one of them, what we call the 394, I'm not sure what Yanmar is going to call it, but it's a 37 horsepower, very similar to this tractor, except this tractor runs a TYM engine, the 394 runs a Yanmar, so that's what we'll be supplying Yanmar with.
Okay.
So this is not a merger. The Yanmar product line is going to still exist, to your knowledge. It's not like you're replacing all of their,
No, absolutely.
just augmenting their line a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, this is nothing like the consolidation with Cook-J or Branson. This is just a continuation or extension of our partnership with them.
Right. Okay, well that's a little more comforting. The press release was a little hard to understand.
Sure.
And it just left enough vagueness for us not really to be able to understand. One thing we notice about the TYM brand is that it's everywhere. I mean, even we've talked about it with the Mahindra line. We've talked about it with several other product lines. You do a lot of supplying for third parties to brand as their own.
We do, and there's more tractors shipped out of South Korea by TYM than any other company. So, and a lot of those, majority of those are the TYM brand, but we also have a lot of other partners that we supply tractors for.
Do you expect this rebranding to remain a central part of who TYM is?
Oh yeah, TYM's goal is to build the brand, continue to build the brand in North America and around the world. I mean, we sell tractors in Europe, Australia, Asia, of course, all over the world, and we, the big focus now is continuing to build the TYM brand.
Okay, so you're focusing on your own brand more so than in the past where you did a lot of supplying of other brands.
As we have grown and our brand has grown, we want to continue to do that. We went through a rebranding, a worldwide rebranding not too long ago. So that's the direction we're headed, really.
Dave, I really appreciate you taking the time. That's sorting through this it's been a big question on a lot of our viewers, and we really appreciate it.
Well, and we want all customers, TYM customers and Branson customers, to understand that all the products that they have bought in the past are still available. Our dealers have more offerings for their customers. Parts are not going to be an issue. We'll continue to produce the same tractors in the same factories and provide the same parts. So we want all of our customers to understand that.
How many dealers do you have now?
Right now we have about 300 dealers
300
in the United. That's in the U.S. and Canada.
Thanks very much, Dave.
Yes, sir. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much.
So you've heard the TYM marketing perspective now, and I think they were fairly transparent with us. I feel like that was good information and helpful information, quite frankly, as helpful as they could be at this point. But I think it's worthwhile for us to do a little bit of our own analysis here. First, for the positive stuff. TYM is clearly committed to the American market. Seeing this investment in Cook-J and continued investment in more and more models, there's no question in my mind that TYM is committed to the American market. And that's one of the keys we look for when we're trying to figure out if a brand is worthy of my tractor purchase, right? So that commitment is really big, really positive. We see another way where they're committed. They're investing a lot in marketing, right? We see that they're partnering with a bunch of YouTube influencers. Basically, many of my peers now have TYM machines that they're operating on their own channels. I think that's good. I think it's good for the industry to see that kind of marketing and broad appeal to the rural lifestyle folks. If you refer to my Avoid These Brands video, we talk a lot about subtle things you need to look for in manufacturers to decide whether you should buy their tractors. And I think we'll kind of use some of those themes and some of those ideas as we investigate TYM here. They mentioned to me off camera that they have 68 models of tractors at this point. That's going to be difficult to manage, and I don't really believe that they will have 68 models of tractors 2 years from now, right? There's just too much overlap in the line for them to be able to support that many different models. I don't think that's going to be economically feasible for them to do in the long run. What they don't know, and they made clear they don't know, is which models are they going to discontinue? Are they going to be some of the Branson models? Are they going to be some of the TYM former TYM models, you just can't tell at this point. So one of our keys was to try to buy a particular model that's a big seller. We feel like that's second to the manufacturer being strongly represented and committed to the market. The model that you're buying, if it has a big sales track record, if there are a lot of machines out there, then you're more likely going to be able to get parts for the long term, and it more likely will help your resale value in the long term. So with 68 models out there, it's going to take a lot of research to figure out whether your model is a high seller within the brand, TYM in this case. It's also going to take some forward looking, I guess, into the future to figure out if your model is going to be one of the ones supported in the long term. So let's just hypothetically take one of those 67 tractors. Which one would you get rid of? You would get rid of one that has low sales volume, right? And you would choose one that was either a little higher cost to manufacture or just hasn't been selling very well for some reason or other. And so I'm a little concerned that the model I might choose to purchase would be one that they retire in the next year or two. I'm not saying that they're misleading us. We all know, however, that parts support has a limited lifespan, and the fewer parts they're selling of a given part, the less time they will keep that part in stock. You just can't keep parts forever. So the challenge for us is that some of these models will not have parts support for as long as we live, right? And I just don't know how we figure out which one it is. So the Yanmar news, that was a press release that came out in January. It was obscure. We weren't sure what that meant. It appears on the surface not to be a very big deal. Yanmar is going to be rebranding a couple of TYM models. At least on the surface, that doesn't appear to be a big issue. But the question is this meaning that Yanmar might be cooling on trying to sell a Yanmar full complete tractor in the US? And I don't know. They've attempted several times in the past to have a lower end tractor line, as they might refer to it, with the Solus, and now I think they've parted ways, so there is no more Yanmar and Solus arrangement. Maybe it's just trying to get a less expensive tractor to fill their line in that way, or how do we know really whether they are committed to the complete tractor model in the USA? I don't know. I know that the only dealer in Indiana is now gone. So there's no Yanmar dealers here. We're seeing where we just don't see as many dealers. And this is kind of a sad thing because the Yanmar tractor itself is a very competent tractor. It's built tough. It seems like it would be a competitive tractor. Seems like the issues are not so much with the tractor, but with the commitment to build out the brand, to build out the dealers there. Now, just a brief discussion about the entire economy, or tractor economy at least. In the farm world, everything is booming right now. So we're seeing huge crowds at this show. We're seeing farm equipment, the big stuff is selling very well. Tractor Mike has a video on that showing some of the 22 numbers of how the large ag sales are up and the compact tractor sales are beginning to cool. And I think this cooling in the compact tractor world is going to bring along some changes. We're not seeing as many vendors showing compact tractors here at the show as what we saw just a few years ago. We counted that we had 12, 13, maybe even 14 manufacturers represented here, or at least brands represented here 4 or 5 years ago. We're down to maybe 5 or 6 brands this year. So the consolidation is happening. You might have subtly noticed in the discussion with the TYM salesman that they're de-emphasizing their rebranding a little bit. That's at least what I'm understanding. I think that's going to continue. I think that's a good thing. I'm not a fan of rebranded tractors. I would like to buy them from the manufacturer of said machine. I just think that it's going to be better for parts support, it's going to be better for resale, etc. So I like this, not as much focus on this rebranding, and I hope some of the other vendors that are currently rebranding either decide to build their own machine or decide that maybe they don't want to be in the tractor business. And I hope that happens soon so that it doesn't hurt buyers, any more buyers, about buying a tractor that's from a company that's really not that committed. So before we let you go, perhaps it would be good for us to kind of list some of the rebranding deals that we know of. TYM makes some Mahindra tractors. TYM, the former Branson arm of TYM, makes the Bad Boy tractors. TYM makes the RK tractors. Now we know that they're going to make 2 models for Yanmar. I know there are several other OEMs, but I can't name them. The other rebranding company that does this a lot is LS. We know that Case and New Holland both rebrand LS tractors. I suspect there are others there as well that I may not be familiar with, but you should buy whatever tractor you want. Please don't be offended. This is just my opinion. I prefer to stay away from the rebranded tractors. If I want an LS tractor, I want to go to LS. If I want a TYM tractor, I want to go to TYM. Just my perspective. I hope you guys have found this helpful. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
Listen, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed in a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will be changed.